A young boy is kicked to the ground by his teammates. His name is Kurt, an adventurer treated worse than a slave. Forbidden from eating with the team, Kurt is constantly mocked as trash. Despite enduring endless humiliation, his teammates exploit him before kicking him out of the group entirely. The story begins 3 days earlier. The entire village hides in a church, too terrified to make a sound. An S-rank beast, Fenrir, rampages through the village. Kurt is knocked away in the chaos, but none of his teammates care to check on him. They focus entirely on supporting their leader, Galnova, who ultimately slays Fenrir with his blazing sword. The villagers celebrate with cheers, offering the adventuring party a lavish feast. Galnova, unimpressed by the food, orders Kurt to cook dinner and coldly informs him he'll be expelled from the team the next day. Kurt's teammates, deeming him too weak, plan to replace him with someone new. This leads to the opening scene, where Kurt's pleas are met with Galnova's brutal dismissal. With nowhere else to turn, Kurt visits a job agency, his confidence shattered from years of mockery and abuse. The agency tests his abilities and finds that all his combat talents are at the lowest rank, making it unlikely any adventuring party would want him. Kurt is disheartened, his years of work earned him meager pay, and his savings will only last 2 more days. Fortunately, a kind agency worker recommends a temporary job repairing the city walls. The supervisor initially doubts Kurt, assuming his frail frame can't handle the labor-intensive work. 3 hours later, the supervisor is stunned. Kurt single-handedly completes the work of 10 people. Over the next 3 days, he finishes what would take other workers a week. The job was meant to support struggling laborers, but Kurt's efficiency risks taking all the pay for himself. Reluctantly, the supervisor lets him go. Luck smiles on Kurt when a girl named Ulisha, desperate to mine a mountain but unable to afford professional miners, hires him. Kurt, asking for minimal pay, eagerly takes the job despite Ulisha's doubts about his scrawny appearance. She has no other options and reluctantly agrees. As Kurt leaves the agency, the staff receive a large payment. It's the full compensation for Kurt's wall repairs, delayed due to funding issues. Kurt, unaware of this, begins to reveal his non-combat talents. That evening, Ulisha invites him to share a meal. Having never dined with his former teammates, who always belittled him, Kurt is deeply touched by her kindness. After dinner, Ulisha claims there's no extra tent and invites Kurt to sleep in hers. Kurt notices she sleeps without clothes and, ever the gentleman, spends the night outside to respect her privacy. This was Ulisha's test of his character, and Kurt passes with flying colors. Kurt then showcases his true gift. He unearths a pile of seemingly worthless crystals and transforms them into magic gems, a skill so rare that only a handful of artisans in the country can match it. Ulisha is astonished and travels to the capital to have the gems appraised, leaving Kurt to build a small cabin. Her true identity is revealed. Ulisha is a former high-ranking adventurer employed by the royal family, still enjoying special privileges despite leaving that life behind. Using a teleportation gate, she arrives at a magic shop in the capital, run by Mimiko, a high-ranking royal mage and commander of a covert national organization. Mimiko's appraisal leaves Ulisha speechless. Each magic gem is worth 10 gold coins. Kurt crafted 50, earning a fortune that would take most people a decade to amass. Mimiko, eager to recruit Kurt for the royal family, asks Ulisha to persuade him. Curious about Kurt's potential, Ulisha investigates through the job agency and learns he's a non-combat prodigy. She deposits the gem sale profits into Kurt's account and instructs the agency to keep his information confidential. Returning home, Ulisha finds that Kurt has built an entire house in a single night. Remarkably, Kurt doesn't see his abilities as extraordinary, believing them to be commonplace. Kurt's lack of confidence stems from years of Galnova's oppression, convincing him he's mediocre. When Ulisha invites him to join the royal family's employ, Kurt assumes she's been scammed. After her patient explanation, he believes her but declines the offer, lacking the self-assurance to accept. Kurt cherishes his time with Ulisha, the first person to treat him with respect. Determined to repay her, he locates a high-quality mineral vein. Under his guidance, Ulisha unearths top-grade ore. Kurt's achievements escalate when he digs up a crate of mithril, a valuable weapon material. Unaware of its worth, he mistakes it for cheap stone and apologizes for failing Ulisha. Driven to do better, he uncovers a legendary grade mineral. Ulisha is floored. Kurt is like a cheat code, delivering returns 1,000 times greater than her investment. After completing the job, Kurt searches for new work and encounters Bandana, a former teammate, a thief known for her incredible speed. Bandana recently fled Galnova's team. Galnova's equipment, no longer maintained by Kurt, caused issues in battle, and his temper worsened after clashing with a new recruit, refusing to pay a restaurant chef he deemed subpar. Galnova is now wanted by soldiers. Seeing no future with the team, Bandana left. Hiding the truth, Bandana claims she was also expelled and recommends a workshop hiring workers. Kurt arrives at the location and meets Michelle, an elf and assistant to the workshop's owner. His first task is to clean the building. Kurt transforms the kitchen into a spotless space but gets lost while reporting to Michelle and stumbles into a girl's room. Her name is Lieselot, a frail girl cursed with a loss of appetite. Moved by her plight, Kurt immediately prepares food for her. The workshop's owner, Ophelia, appears and warns Kurt not to reveal Lieselot's presence. What happens next defies expectations. Lieselot tastes Kurt's meal and collapses in pain. Ophelia assumes Kurt poisoned the food and nearly attacks him, but Lieselot's curse miraculously vanishes. That night, Ophelia and Lieselot visit Mimico, where they encounter Ulisha. Their conversation unveils a shocking truth. Lieselot is the daughter of the king and a neighboring country's princess. Someone cursed her to spark a war between the two nations, hoping her death would shatter their fragile peace. Mimico and Ulisha are stunned that Kurt, unknowingly, thwarted a potential war by breaking the curse. The situation remains dire. Every royal family member must undertake a journey at age 15, leaving Lieselot vulnerable to her enemies. Ophelia plans to open a new atelier and hide Lieselot there, but establishing it requires meeting strict conditions. Ulisha recommends Kurt as the atelier's master, and Ophelia is amazed by his high-quality magic gems. The group assigns tasks. Mimico investigates the mastermind behind the curse, identifying 3 suspects, a queen, a general, and a bishop from the neighboring country. They devise a trap to lure out the culprit. Unaware of the larger conspiracy, Kurt is told by Michelle that Ophelia hasn't returned, leaving no work for the day. While eating lunch alone, Kurt overhears an adventuring party needing a porter and volunteers. Skeptical of his small stature, they challenge his strength. Kurt effortlessly lifts 2 team members, securing the job. The party includes Danzu, a samurai, Kansu, a warrior, and Sina, Kansu's ranger sister. Another member, Bibanok, is absent due to illness, necessitating Kurt's help for an urgent mission. Kurt feels welcomed for the first time, as the team accepts him despite his mistakes, a stark contrast to Golnova's abuse. Overwhelmed, Kurt sheds tears of gratitude. Their happiness is short-lived. Exploring a cave, they find goblin droppings. Danzu and Sina dispatch the initial goblins, but more emerge from the darkness. Kurt spots a hidden door, and only he and Sina escape through it. Danzu and Kansu, displaying knightly honor, stay behind to hold off the goblins, giving Kurt and Sina a chance to flee. Inside the door, a menacing dragon statue awaits. Meanwhile, Ulisha and Lieselot head to Kurt's inn. Bandana appears, revealing Kurt's cave expedition. Alarmed by reports of goblin swarms, Ulisha rushes to the cave. Her formidable combat skills save Danzu and Kansu from certain death. Simultaneously, Kurt, though unskilled in combat, excels at dismantling. He disassembles the dragon statue into harmless parts. With the crisis resolved, Ulisha invites the group to join the new atelier. She needs Kurt's crafting skills to gain certification and hires the adventuring party as guards. Everyone is thrilled, except Danzu, whose expression hints at unease. Kurt and his new crew head to a border city, where they'll stay for a while. Kurt recognizes it as the place where he once patched up the city walls. The repairs have stalled, and the city is full of empty lots. Ulisha tasks Kurt with building an atelier alone while she guards Lieselot and organizes the group's work. Ulisha takes Lieselot and the adventurers to a tavern for a meeting. Sina, who's noticed odd things from past missions, speaks up. During a cave incident, Kurt took down a dragon statue with just a dagger, showing strength beyond an S-rank adventurer. Sina's curious about Kurt and Ulisha's true identities. Ulisha reveals her own and Lieselot's backgrounds but stays vague about Kurt. She barely knows him herself. They haven't been together long. All she shares is that Kurt's combat skills are average, but his other talents are top tier. A genius like him would attract trouble if exposed, so Ulisha keeps his abilities under wraps. There's another reason. Ulisha needs Kurt to lure out whoever cursed Lieselot. Danzu and Kansu, kind souls who once saved Kurt, are shocked by Lieselot's situation and join the plan to protect her. Sina hesitates, worried Kurt's taking on too much risk, but a talk with him changes her mind. Kurt loves feeling needed. His old team treated him like trash, shattering his confidence. Sina can't bear to ruin his simple joy, so she agrees to keep his secret alongside Ulisha. Meanwhile, Danzu tracks down Bandana for intel. Bibanok, a master of disguise, often takes shady jobs to sow chaos in adventurer teams. Danzu's furious but spares Bibanok, warning him to stay away. After Danzu leaves, Mimico's goons snatch Bibanok. Bandana watches from the shadows, still an enigma. Danzu returns to the atelier, stunned. In just days, Kurt built a lavish manor, complete with a steady water supply and long-lasting magical crystals for light. With Kurt around, they'd survive even an apocalypse. That night, Ulisha places curse-warding charms on Lieselot's door. Embarrassingly, Kurt mistakes them for graffiti and cleans them off. Mimico, who provided the charms, won't arrive for days, leaving Ulisha worried about an assassination attempt. Her fears aren't baseless. Across the border, Bishop Tristan plots to kill Lieselot, choosing Kurt's former teammate, High Priestess Marlfis, as the assassin. Tristan tricks Marlfis into drinking cursed wine. If she doesn't kill Lieselot within a month, the curse will kill her. Marlfis falls into a coma, waking to face a demon lord. Days pass, and Lieselot faces no attacks. Ulisha's puzzled. Mimico and Ophelia are in the city, so why haven't the enemies struck? During a chat, she learns Kurt set up a special barrier around the manor. It not only protects those cursed inside but makes curse casters glow, exposing them. Elisha alerts Mimiko. Their citywide search uncovers a glowing corpse, likely a curse caster killed by their own bosses for being too conspicuous. At the same time, a monster army attacks the city. General Alried, the man who hired Kurt to fix the walls, and his deputy Generic face an unprecedented horde. But when the monsters touch the walls, they're instantly purified, halting the first wave. Alried recalls Kurt's unique wall-repairing method. The monsters come from western ruins, where the demon lord uses Marlphys as a sacrifice, draining her magic to summon the horde. Marlphys is broken, betrayed by Tristan's alliance with the demon lord and her role as their pawn. At dawn, the monster's second wave hits. Elisha has a plan. Kurt's craftsmanship is unmatched, his refined magical crystals pack immense power. She asks Alried to draw the monsters out, buying her time to reach the ruins and destroy their source. Alried, worried for Elisha, sends Generic with Mimiko and Ophelia to fight, while he joins Elisha at the ruins. Generic offers to go instead, but Alried refuses. Before parting, the two soldiers vow to celebrate with drinks if they survive. Taking advantage of the monster's sluggishness in daylight, they act. Elisha wipes out scores of monsters with a single crystal, proving Kurt's brilliance again. Back at the manor, Kurt feels useless for not fighting and forges a sword to distract himself. Lieselot invites him to lunch, and Kurt casually gives her the blade. She's thrilled, mistaking it for a romantic gesture. Kurt, oblivious to his own talent or romance, just wants to help Elisha. Lieselot feels the same, eager to fight alongside their friends. They decide to chase after Elisha. The battlefield near the ruins is grim. Elisha and Alried are surrounded, battered, and on the brink of collapse. Just in time, Kansu's adventurer team arrives, easing the pressure. Kansu's group handles some monsters, while Elisha and Alried venture deeper into the ruins to find the source. Unbeknownst to them, the demon lord watches their every move. Marlphys is near death, and the demon lord decides to face Elisha himself. Strangely, he doesn't dodge, tanking Alried's attacks with ease. For the first time, Kurt's crystals fail to kill a foe. The demon lord, fueled by Marlphys's magic, has infinite regeneration. Yet, despite his power, he opts for psychological warfare, showing Elisha visions of Kansu and Generic in peril to break her spirit. Then, the game changer arrives. Kurt, digging tunnels to bypass the monster army, sneaks into the ruins with Lieselot. Marlphys is stunned to see Kurt. What follows shocks her more. Kurt destroys the demon lord's magic circle, freeing Marlphys from death's grip. The demon lord, no longer regenerating, panics. Lieselot steps in to aid Elisha but is seemingly killed instantly by the demon lord's overwhelming power. As Elisha despairs, Lieselot reappears as a butterfly, revived. Thanks to Kurt's sword, which casts lifelike illusions. The dead Lieselot was a fake. Fooled, the demon lord lets his guard down, and Lieselot uses Kurt's crystal to obliterate him. The crisis ends. Kurt offers Marlphys food, and with a single rice ball, he breaks her curse. Marlphys realizes Kurt's true strength, regretting how she, like Galnova, once mocked him. That night, Kurt cooks a victory feast. The food's so good, everyone eats in silence, racing to grab seconds before it's gone. Kurt formally meets Alried, and the mood is light. But unbeknownst to them, a dangerous figure still lurks in the city. Kurt's atelier gets a commission. A nearby village is hit by a drought and needs water from a neighboring village. When Elisha arrives, she finds that village is also desperate for water. But the problem gets solved fast. While helping villagers tend to their water birds, Kurt accidentally discovers an underground water source and builds an artificial lake, saving both villages from the drought. The village leaders are blown away by Elisha's skills, thinking she pulled it off in record time. Only Elisha knows the real hero is Kurt. Grateful, the village leaders gift Atelier a ton of water bird eggs as thanks. Meanwhile, Lieselot and Alried are reporting to Count Tychone about a recent monster-slaying mission. Count Tychone's heard of Atelier's impressive track record and is dying to meet the boss. He knows any group that can recruit a national princess must be something special. Lieselot, worried about exposing Kurt's talents being exploited, refuses to introduce him, but Count Tychone doesn't give up. He offers to make Atelier's boss the frontier governor, an honor that would force Kurt to step into the spotlight. Lieselot scrambles for a way to dodge the offer and turns to Elisha for help. Then Kurt drops a bombshell. One of the water bird eggs he brought back hatches into a little girl who looks just like him. Elisha, piecing together the clues, suspects the girl might be a monster. To protect Kurt and Lieselot, she decides to eliminate her. But the girl senses danger, clings to Elisha, and calls her mom. Those cries awaken Elisha's maternal instincts, leaving her torn. Kansu steps in, suggesting they raise the girl together with Kurt. He believes even a monster can grow up kind in a loving environment. In the end, the girl stays and gets a beautiful name, Akuri. Elisha, ever cautious as a high-tier adventurer, collects Akuri's hair and saliva for Mimiko to analyze. She also has Kurt set up a reinforced, mithril-lined room to keep Akuri secure and prevent any escapes. To everyone's shock, Akuri seems to have teleportation magic, popping up out of nowhere at the farm where Elisha and Kurt work. Before they can figure out how Akuri's teleporting, the farm owner issues a new job: help a group of pigs regain their appetite. Kurt may be hopeless in a fight, but his other talents never fail to amaze. The feed he whips up not only gets the pigs chowing down but also attracts an S-rank dragon fledgling. Then, a demon warrior named Soulflare shows up, radiating hostility and demanding Akuri. Yulisha tells Kurt to flee with Akuri while she stays to fight. The dragon fledgling senses the danger first and whisks Kurt and Akuri to safety. Looks like that dragon's totally hooked on Kurt's cooking. The fight's brutal. Soulflare's way too strong. After a few rounds, Yulisha's down for the count. Just as she's about to give up, Kurt swoops in on the dragon with a herd of pigs in tow, using them as a distraction to rescue her. Yulisha's touched. She's used to facing danger alone, but with Kurt around, she's starting to love being looked after. It hits her, she's falling for this boy. But the danger's not over. Soulflare catches up, unleashing a massive fireball to finish them off. Then, something unbelievable happens. Akuri's teleportation spooks Soulflare, forcing her to stop the attack and flee. Yulisha's baffled. Does a demon warrior actually have a heart? Kurt, piecing things together, goes after Soulflare alone. He tranquilizes her and brings her back to Atelier. He'd noticed the horns on her head, reminding him of his childhood best friend, Hildegard. Kurt knows not all demons are evil. Plus, during the fight, Soulflare could have easily killed them but stopped, even injuring herself with the backlash of her own magic. He wants to know why she attacked. Soon after, Mimiko shares her findings on Akuri. She can't confirm Akuri's identity, but the girl has a crystal tied to long-lost spatial magic. To avoid trouble, Mimiko suggests locking Akuri up. After spending time with Akuri, everyone knows she's a sweet kid and begs Mimiko to reconsider. Trusting their judgment, Mimiko agrees to let Akuri stay. Next, they interrogate Soulflare. She explains she came to town because Count Tychone kidnapped Hildegard. Soulflare had been tracking Kurt's group after learning Count Tychone was investigating them. By chance, she discovered Akuri's teleportation magic and wanted to use it to rescue Hildegard. She stopped her attack partly to avoid hurting Akuri and partly because she spotted a griffin emblem on Kurt's dagger, a symbol tied to Hildegard. To prove her story, Soulflare shows them a necklace with the same griffin emblem. Kurt instantly recognizes it as Hildegard's and pleads with Yulisha and Mimiko to help save her. Mimiko agrees but insists Soulflare stays at Atelier under supervision. After analyzing the intel, Mimiko deduces Hildegard is locked in a special room in Count Tychone's castle, which only he can open. To rescue her, they need to trick him into unlocking it. Lieselot knows Count Tychone is hosting a 3-day festival to celebrate Atelier's boss becoming frontier governor. Previously, she used an illusion to create a fake boss, Rikuto, who looks like Kurt, fooling everyone. During the festival, she plans to use the illusion again to stall Count Tychone. The rescue is set for the 3rd day. The first 2 days, Lieselot and Yulisha take Kurt to scout the castle. Secretly, Lieselot has an ulterior motive. She wants to use the festival to spend time with Kurt and confess her feelings. As the festival kicks off, Kurt tells Lieselot he's never enjoyed one before, always stuck doing chores in the shadows. Lieselot's furious about his past and vows to make this festival unforgettable, giving him the joy he's missed. Time flies when you're having fun. Just as Lieselot's about to confess, Kurt spots Count Tychone's castle by the lake, and worry creeps in. He feels useless, unable to save Hildegard himself, dragging everyone into his mess during the festival. Lieselot sees his insecurity, born from years of being put down. She wants him to know that even if he feels ordinary, he deserves friends. Helping them through tough times is what makes friendship special. Kurt's stunned. He never thought someone as weak as him could have friends who care so deeply. Today, Yulisha and Kurt are out on a field investigation, but Kurt's knack for helping others lands them in a messy situation. A well-known chef in town, terrified of losing a cooking contest to a new Bowsy shop, hires some thugs to sabotage it. When Kurt catches wind of the scheme, he teams up with the shop owner to create a brand new Bowsy recipe and compete in the contest. Fans of the show know Kurt's no fighter, but he's a wizard in the kitchen. With his help, the Bowsy shop clinches the championship title. The chef, fuming, plans to send more thugs to rough up the shop owner, but Yulisha and Lieselot step in and put the goons in their place. Not one to back down, the chef tries to ambush Lieselot himself, unaware he's about to pay a steep price. Lieselot is the kingdom's princess, and attacking her is tantamount to treason. In the end, the chef's sentenced to life in prison. Count Tychone, learning his favorite chef is behind bars, scrambles to find a new one to cater for Lieselot and the Atelier boss. Thanks to Kurt's stellar performance at the cooking contest, the Count's secretary recommends him for the job. As Yulisha and Lieselot escort Rikuto to Count Tychone's castle, they get word that Kurt will be joining as the chef. Knowing Kurt's tendency to leap before he looks, they start worrying he'll throw a wrench in their rescue plan. Sure enough, their fears come true. Once inside the castle, Kurt, with the help of Akuri's teleportation magic, slips into a mysterious room. To his shock, it's not Hildegard locked up inside, but an elderly woman named Famo, Count Tychone's daughter, long rumored to be dead. After a heartfelt chat, Famo realizes Kurt's searching for Hildegard and leads him to the dungeon. Hildegard instantly recognizes Kurt and lays into him, blaming him for her imprisonment. Years ago, she was poisoned, and Kurt's potion saved her life, but he botched the mix, stunting her growth forever. Meanwhile, Yulisha and Lieselot stick to their original plan, spreading a false rumor about an intruder to lure Count Tychon into the dungeon, allowing them to tail him. As Count Tychon arrives, the truth starts unraveling. Famo suffers from a rare rapid-aging disease. To shield her from being seen as a monster, Tychon announced her death to the world. His kidnapping of Hildegard was a desperate bid to use her immortal genes to cure Famo. Kurt, misunderstanding the situation, assumes Tychon's just a creep obsessed with keeping his daughter young forever. He lectures the Count about accepting his child's changes as a true father should. But there's more to the story. While Kurt's spinning wild theories, Hildegard knocks him out cold. In a chilling twist, Famo demands that Hildegard kill her own father, Count Tychon. Because she didn't want her father to harm innocent people to cure her, Famo refused to let Count Tychon go through with it. Still, the Count couldn't bear to watch his daughter age and die. He'd already struck a deal with a demon lord. If needed, he'd activate a magic circle, sacrificing the souls of an entire town to restore Famo's youth. But at the critical moment, Famo suddenly regained her youthful appearance, stopping everything. Turns out, it was a bun made by Kurt that broke the curse. The demon lord, realizing his plan had failed, revealed himself. He admitted that the curses on Lieselot and Famo were his doing, and he'd even instigated Count Tychon to kidnap Hildegard. His goal, to spark a war between demons and humans, using countless human souls to summon a stronger demon. With his scheme exposed, the demon lord forcibly activated the magic circle, planning to sacrifice everyone. Inside the circle, everyone's movements were restricted, leaving them helpless, waiting for death. Luckily, Hildegard had earlier knocked Kurt out, thinking he was a nuisance. This left him as the only one outside the magic circle. His sudden appearance distracted the demon lord, giving Yulisha enough time to act. Drawing on her past battle with a demon warrior, Yulisha unleashed a powerful spell and quickly defeated the demon lord. In his final moments, the demon lord tried to take Hildegard down with him, hoping to fuel the demon's hatred for humans. But he forgot about our hero's ultimate cheat code. A piece of bread Kurt made somehow blocked the fatal blow for Hildegard. At the sight of that bread, memories flooded back to the demon lord. He realized Kurt must be from Hast village and fled in a panic. You see, Hast village had always been targeted by the demon lord. To protect themselves, the villagers developed ways to counter him, including this attack-blocking bread. Just when everyone thought it was over, the magic circle's power didn't fade. It started wildly absorbing everything around it. Then, in a shocking twist, the circle sucked up Kurt's bun and vanished completely. Count Tychon's secretary, witnessing it all, reported everything to Bandana. From their conversation, we learn Bandana had been secretly watching Kurt. Why? Because Kurt's more powerful than he seems. His buns can replace living sacrifices to summon countless demons. Bandana also dropped a bombshell. Akuri is connected to the legendary great sage from myth. In the end, Hildegard's monologue reveals she and Kurt met back in the year 1200. Clearly, Kurt's hiding plenty of mysteries yet to be unraveled. Congrats, you've just watched another anime recap on my channel. Drop a rating for this episode in the comments. From this finale, it's clear Kurt's story is only getting started. I'm hyped for season 2 and how it'll dive into Kurt's growth. If you're as excited as I am, let me know in the comments. Plus, check out the other awesome anime recaps on my channel. There's bound to be something you love. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe.